You're listening to episode 5 of the Product Boss podcast. In this episode, Jacqueline and I talk about the 7 big reasons why you should join a mastermind now. Welcome to the Product Boss podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Minna an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Product Boss podcast. I am your host, Jacqueline, and my co-host, Minna. Say hi, Minna.
Hey guys.
And today we want to talk to you about the 7 reasons why you should join a mastermind. So, Minna, take it away.
Yeah, so there's so many benefits to being in a mastermind. It is a complete game changer. And so, Jacqueline, should we start with what a mastermind is, though, and how it's formatted, and so they get an idea of what exactly it is?
Absolutely. I'd love to share what a mastermind is and how a mastermind works. So, masterminds are groups of people that are usually like minded or that they have the same goal or objective. And that mastermind group is designed to help you navigate through the challenges of your business or whatever the mastermind is focused on, using the collective intelligence of the people in your group. And Minna and I actually have a mastermind called Multi-Stream Machine, and we actually merge masterminding with group coaching because a lot of our clients have questions for us that are sort of coming from the place of our expert advice outside of just the intelligence of the group. But the group definitely helps and backs everybody up, and they even have advice that sometimes Minna and I haven't even thought of. So a mastermind works generally where you meet at set times. So whether you meet weekly, monthly, daily, it just depends. Our mastermind meets every other week for 3 months. And in that, we tackle challenges and problem solve together. So what we do is we set it up that there are hot seats in our groups. And depending on the people in the group, we take turns, and usually between 2 to 3 people are in the hot seat. And that is where they bring one big question, one thing that they need solved, and they need advice from the group to help them figure out what they're going to do or what they're going to do next. So it's very much peer-to-peer mentoring and also coaching from 2 product-based experts. So, Minna, why don't you give us the 7 reasons why a mastermind might be right for our listeners?
Yeah, masterminding can make such a big difference in your business. With ours, we usually format it as, they give their struggle in their hot seat. I go first and I give my advice as a coach. And then we go around kind of like a round robin style. And their peers give advice. And then Jacqueline ends it with her advice. So I think that really, just think about how many eyes are on your business, right? So many eyes, so much advice. It's such good stuff. So that kind of leads me into my first benefit, and you can kind of elaborate on this too. But you get the automatic community, right? The automatic biz besties. And, we always call each other biz bestie, but you can certainly have more than one, right? I have tons of biz friends and biz besties that I turn to on very often to just kind of go over ideas with me. And in the hot seat, you're going over one struggle, and they're giving you that advice that will help you kind of avoid doing the things that making mistakes, and then also shortcutting your way to success.
Yeah, and there's also this comfort in knowing that the longer you're in a mastermind. So for example, we had our fall masterminders that 80% of them are continuing, and the only reason the couple other, well, one two other people aren't continuing. One's having a baby, and
On
the
the
other
date that we
one,
start.
yeah, literally on the day we start, that's her due date. And one of the other ones is it's her high season for her other business. So otherwise it probably would have been, a 99% return rate for everybody in our first mastermind. So the benefit to having this automatic community and peer group is that they know your business. They are a select group of people that are intimately connected with you and your business and that understand your struggles and your wins. So if there is something that you have been dealing with over the course of the mastermind, there is a quick reaction. They don't need a lot of background. They know what's happening. And how many people outside of like your spouses or the people who work for you know the day-to-day ins and outs of your business? So having that group really helps, brainstorm and move things forward and also create that bond, because at the end of our mastermind, we were crying. I mean, there were men crying, women crying. It wasn't even the pregnant woman crying. We were crying because it was like such a deep emotional connection and experience. It was finding that group that finally got you and that got you to where you were. So from when we started our mastermind to where we concluded it at the end of this year, that was the group that you took that journey with and got you there.
Yeah. We, at the end of that mastermind, we did affirmations, and it's like getting to hear from people who totally get you how they see you. And it was amazing. So you've really developed a bond with these people because they're getting to see inside your business, your struggles, your wins, and all those emotional things that come with being an entrepreneur. And also, another great thing about it is that, it makes it more fun. Like your entire journey as an entrepreneur is just more fun when you have other people to share it with. And I mean, how fun is it to have people to brainstorm with, even on, a smaller level, right? So just getting people to brainstorm with and know what you're going through, and you just feel like there's somebody out there that gets you and is like, hey, I understand what you're doing, I totally believe that you can do it. And they root you on.
Absolutely. So what would be the second reason that our listeners should join a mastermind?
Second reason is expert coaching. There is no comparison to having a coach inside your business. It's like having somebody to tell you exactly what you should do, and then you get to think about. Well, obviously, you would be making the final decision, but it gives you that confidence that you need to make a decision a lot of times, and then outside perspective where you're like, oh, I get what they're saying, and they've been there too, and I want to be where they are. So I think that is really, it can be a huge thing for your business to help it really grow leaps and bounds, is to have an expert coach. And with ours, you get two of them.
Two from different backgrounds. And also, our goal for you in coaching you is, like we said, shortcutting, minimizing that learning curve and fast tracking your business. So you can absolutely work with us one on one. But by having us both together, bouncing ideas off of each other and having your peers there as well and getting that group advice, you're no longer alone in making these decisions and you no longer feel like you are in a vacuum. So many of us can take courses, online courses, try and train ourselves, but it's just proven that you take action faster having people that are intimately connected with your business, that understand it, they understand the infrastructure, and they can help answer questions or even just help you figure out your ideas, like really just sort of piece through your thought process and pull out what you're trying to accomplish.
And if you've ever heard like a coaching call or coaching session, it can change your business when you even hear it for somebody else. So getting to hear the struggles, the different hot seats of your peers, and then getting to hear how they're coached is a game changer. It really can, you bring up questions and answers that you never even knew that you had. So I think that really, puts things on your radar that you're like, oh, I never thought of that, and this is what I should do.
And how
So
to apply it to your business.
right, right. So I think that really makes a difference too, is that coaching and that masterminding setting that comes together, which, as Jacqueline mentioned, masterminds are usually just peer to peer. They don't have that expert coaching element in the mix. So the next really big benefit of being in a mastermind is the accountability and the collaboration. So I think that goals and projections and planning can take you so far, but if you don't have the accountability, they're not going to take you to the finish line. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, because it's hard it's hard as an entrepreneur sometimes to hold yourself accountable or not to get distracted. So we get distracted by the shiny things. So you find a new app, you get a new idea. Those things are always going to pull you away from the plan that you might have set for yourself for that week, that quarter, that year. And then it's also sometimes when you just, you write down your laundry list, you write down your list of all the things you needed to do, to do that week. What we do in our mastermind is we set goals for the upcoming weeks. And then when we check in on that next call, it's just a quick round robin, like Mina discussed, but we say, okay, your goal was to do this, 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 and this. Did you meet that goal? We do expect everyone to try and meet their goal. Obviously things come up, but we're there to check in with you and then hear your struggles. And you might say, you know what, I did, but this happened. And again, it's that thing where we all learn from each other and we can collaborate to help push you to meet those goals.
and it kind of puts you in check too of what your goals should be. Let's say you make a goal of, hey, I'm going to post one time on Instagram. We're like, no, I think you can do better than that. So, so it kind of pushes you to have to achieve your goal, but also to achieve more a lot of times. We saw a lot of people raise their capacity for what they could do because they saw everything that other people were doing. It just sets the bar and kind of floats the bar even higher when everybody's rising to it, right? So I think that really makes a big difference.
And I think another thing that one of the gems that came out of our mastermind was one of our masterminders, she was struggling with the fact that she was actually physically making all of her product. And she also has kids. I think she's got young ones. And she was physically making her product. And she was telling us she was waking up at 3 a.m. every morning to fulfill the orders. Um, and so that was an issue for her. So not only did we brainstorm how she could outsource some of that work and where to outsource it, and that comes from the expert side or of working with coaches, and then also clients that come from different industries. Like one of our clients or one of our masterminders, not only was she a fashion designer, she's also an electrical engineer. And she had advice to give from just being an electrical engineer. But one of the things that came out of that was she needed home help, or she needed to hire a local, teenager or something to do the manual work, to do the cutting, because she needed to spend time on doing the bigger things. So when she set that goal, by the next meeting, she had hired those people.
Yep. And she had also thought about how to manufacture it instead of doing it by hand. How can you instead streamline the process so then you can have it partially manufactured? So you're cutting out, let's say, 50% of the process by having it made, on a commercial level, rather than doing it completely handmade yourself. And I think that really set the difference for her too. Was that you're just not bringing in somebody to help with the volume, you're also streamlining what you're doing. So I think that those are the things that you get from a mastermind expert coaching, is that there's so many. You're looking left, you're looking right, you're looking up, you're looking down, all of it.
And you actually have somebody looking and watching your back as well.
Yes, love it. Okay, so the next benefit is that in a lot of masterminds, because you're paying for these, there's this positive energy and positive mindset because you're there to solve problems. This is something that I've seen that is a big difference between paid and peer masterminds. So there's such a thing as peer masterminds where you're just coming together, you're making the schedules and nobody's paying and you're just helping to facilitate. But let's say somebody has a bad day and they're complaining, you stay on that complaining issue more when you're not paying than when you're paying, because it's a waste of time to be complaining. You should be solving that problem. I think that really sets the mood to be positive is when you're in a paid mastermind with peers and a coach, you are going to have that positive energy and that positive mindset to solve the problem.
Yeah, I think that for me, let's say in the mastermind that I participated in, when you find friends, or friends you've grown up with, or like-minded people, or just, people within your community outside of being an entrepreneur, a lot of times you're similar. So I have a best friend that I grew up with, and sometimes the energy gets pretty negative, and I realize now that we probably bonded on that. When some friends might only know the bad stuff about like your boyfriend or your relationship because it's really you complain, but you're not going to call them and brag about how sweet he was to you. So it's sort of that same idea of there's some people that you go to, let's say, to complain. But what I found the most beneficial in having a mastermind with other people were their mindsets. Everybody had their own mindset issues, but they were different than mine. And so they were able to share with me, like share tools that they use, or I could see that people could struggle with or accomplish things with a different sort of mindset. And, we've within our mastermind, there were days that our people had hard days or like a hard week,
Yeah.
and just having that group, and we it was amazing. Our group was incredible. Like, it took a life of its own that was outside of Mina and I, where they were talking to each other. Outside of that, they were messaging each other. Some of them lived locally to each other, and they were meeting each other. Some people offered help outside, and that was exactly the goal of it, and they found their own relationships within there. And so I think that's why we ended on such a high note, was there was so much positive energy, so much positive mindset, and everyone was there to keep each
Yeah.
other up.
And I think that, let's say you meet somebody online and you talk through a Facebook group, and when you're talking more and more in Facebook groups, there is, that connection, but there's not that bond. There's a specific bond that comes from when you're implementing with people, that when you're in the trenches with them. And so that's why you see a lot of people, that are kind of surface level with their, I hate to say surface level, but they're just not as deep with their Facebook friends, right? That they make in the groups. There is that connection, but if you're in a mastermind or in the trenches with somebody and you're implementing with them and you're seeing that exact action that they're taking, you create a much stronger bond, which is, you can kind of see that even with myself and Jacqueline, we implement together all day, every day, right? And and we're able to bond over, what was hard and what was easy. And I think that that really makes a difference, is that implementation instead of just the replying on a Facebook post.
Well, and it's also a small group. So generally, a mastermind can be 4 people. And I think we had 11 people in our
Including
last,
ourselves,
in,
yeah.
yeah, was it including us?
Yeah, I think so. Was it?
Hmm. No, I think it was 11 because we had partners.
Oh, yeah.
We have to count on our fingers. No, but and I think 4, 6, 8 people usually, because you really do want to get everybody's opinion out there during the mastermind, and have enough time for, hot seats and hot seats that we could spend time on. But when you're in a big group, and trust us, like, we want you to be a part of the product bus group and any other groups that you find. But those are, for big ideas, you can put advice up there. Everybody just sort of gives you their advice. You don't know who they are. But within your group, the energy, the personalities, and it is easier to bond with less people and have intimate relationships with less people than more. And I think that's where the energy comes from. And we all need that positive energy in our lives.
Yeah, for sure. So the next benefit for a mastermind is that it covers all your blind spots. No matter what level you're at, you could be 7-figure, you could be 8-figure, you're always going to have blind spots. And the more people that are looking into your business, the faster your growth will be because of the new ideas that person is bringing in. Jacqueline just mentioned that we had partners in the masterminds. And so 2 of the people, so there's 4 people, right? 2 partnerships, they brought in their partner, their spouses, and because they worked with them, and they could have instead just had one person in, paid less, and not brought in that spouse or that partner. But we recommended them bringing in their partner or spouse because that really adds a dynamic that that person completely sees your business differently than you do. It's just like if my husband had been in a mastermind with me, he brings up different questions that I don't even see, different blind spots in my own business that only he has spotted. So then it's like everybody has blind spots, even within the business, even around the business. So I think it's just, it makes such a great way to see it from every single angle.
Yeah, and we all want to push each other to think bigger, get to ideas faster and grow faster. And these outside perspectives help us figure out what's successful and what we should be avoiding. So again, like I said, I mean, if you want to use like a car analogy, it's having your rear view mirror, your side view mirrors, that beeping thing in the back of your car when you're reversing. Depending on the car that you have, I mean, I think my mom can see the front, the back, the sides, everything in her car. And so that's really what your mastermind group is, that there are people on all sides of you from all different perspectives looking out and helping cover those blind spots.
Yeah, and then some of them are better drivers than you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you think of it that way, I'm not going to get into the analogy I've just decided because I'm not going to be able to say it correctly. But I think that you realize everybody's strengths and their weaknesses. And so then in the mastermind, you're seeing some people are just way better at Pinterest than you are. And some people are way better at Facebook. So it's like coming in from an angle of that person. We had actually one person that was a Facebook expert, so that was really cool, right?
Yeah.
So
And And people who, like we said, came from different industries or that have sold in different ways. We had a couple people that were professional, like they did competition wear for professional people in that competition. So, ballroom dancing, female bodybuilders, um, just, really interesting things, but they still had a need and then their expertise in other ways or what they've done in their lives.
yeah, for sure. Everybody was a product-based person. So I think that that really solidified the bond between everybody, was that they all had a product that they had to kind of flip their thinking on. So yeah, I think that really helps. So the next benefit is that you're constantly checking your business. I think that when you're doing this alone, and you're, putting in, let's say a monthly review or a monthly check, you're not getting all of it. So you're actually, it's easy to let yourself slip on that check of your business. But when you're in a mastermind, you're working on it. You're really digging in deep. You're constantly reviewing, you're constantly analyzing, you're constantly making decisions. And that is the cycle of an entrepreneur, right? Like, you know, constant review, constant this. So I think that that is a big benefit, is that constant check of your business.
And it's not that we want you to feel overwhelmed by constantly checking your business, but sometimes you can become complacent. Sometimes we get swept away in whatever is happening, whether it's, production and getting stuff out and shipped to stores, whether it's your high season or your low season. Just life happens. And so it's kind of making you aware. It's like wearing that reminder string on your finger to sort of keep on top of your business, to keep a finger on the pulse of it, to make sure that you are just, that you're aware of the ins and outs and that you're also sort of tapped into what's new and what's happening and how you can improve and stay ahead of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And also to make sure that you're doing tasks and strategy that are needle moving, in your business. Like you're not doing all this work on something that's not worth your time. So I think that check is definitely where you get the most ROI. Is that worth your time for working on that specific focus?
Absolutely. And then the final point on why we feel a mastermind is important.
Is that it's a safe place for you to say what you need to say. Everything is confidential, everything is within the group. Everybody understands that you don't talk about other people's business, their secret weapons, their goals. You keep it inside the group, and it's just this wonderful group that helps you and supports you, and it's a safe place for you to for you to say things. So an example would be you are openly free to say your money goal. And once you say your money goal, even saying it to yourself is just this huge mindset shift that you are saying out loud to people who are keeping you accountable, who are believing in you, and they are rooting you on. And then on top of it, you're not like posting it onto Facebook or something. So I think that is really so beneficial, is having a safe place to talk any sort of business you want to.
And also getting an idea of what's possible. So in some of the masterminding that we've done personally, there have been people that have set really large goals. Like I am about to sign a client or get a contract for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've never, sent a contract out like that. Or for example, if you're selling a product and you're going to market and you meet with a store, or maybe you meet with, I don't know, Anthropology or Target, and all of a sudden, like you want to share with your mastermind group, like I took this incredible meeting with this huge, uh, retail store. And if I book these sales, I could be making, 7 figures in my business and I'll have to keep up with that and all the things that come with that. Well, we're here one to all sort of group put it out there for you. So, and making you realize, like helping you, like we go back to that mindset that that goal is not too big, and that you can do it. Or I've had a client before say, I'm not mortgaging my house to sell to Macy's. And then that would also be helpful for someone to help you talk through that and make that decision that maybe that decision's not right for you. But bringing up money, which is a big thing. And it's one of those things, it's like money, religion, the couple things you don't talk to, you might not even talk to family members about it. It's not the biggest thing that we talk about, but it's a place that you can talk about it.
Yeah, you can talk about it and you can get help with it. And even being able to say it out loud, I think is a big help.
So, and we do, we sign confidentiality agreements with each other, so that we all just sort of, in a business environment feel safe and protected. So I wanted to jump into the Product Boss Mastermind, which we actually call multi-stream machine. And I just want to talk about if this is for you. So our mastermind is, we believe it's a shortcut to success, and it's where coaching meets masterminding, and it is a game changer. So, this is for you if you want more product sales, if you've been searching for the right opportunity to grow, you love to take action, but you don't like to be overwhelmed, you've been looking for the right coach who thinks strategically but creatively as well, and you're energized by the idea of like minded entrepreneurs coming together and achieving big goals. So, just touching on that like minded entrepreneur aspect, our masterminds are comprised of groups of businesses that are not all like each other. So we don't just pick, home goods and put them together, or food products and put them together. We really like to take people from different industries. There may be crossover because there are some industries that just might be more prevalent, but we like to take a group of different types of industries and mix them together. Because if we were all coming from the same background, there wouldn't be a lot of advice. There wouldn't be as much stimulation happening in our group. So we definitely have people. And the other thing I want to add is people are in all different parts of their business. Depending on the applications that we get for our mastermind, we will probably put groups of people together that are similar, that are within a few levels of each other. For example, we wouldn't put a 7-figure business with a startup because sometimes the advice given might be, very different for one versus the other. But if you are just launching, if you have an idea and you want to get, an understanding of how you're going to sell or grow this product-based line, or if you're in it and you're looking for that community, we are here for you. So we are two product-based experts. There's group coaching and there's an exclusive community. And that exclusive community is a private Facebook group for your mastermind.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was
no,
going to
that's
say
okay.
that private Facebook group is for your group alone. It isn't the entirety. Like we have multiple groups, so it would be just for your little group.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things we've learned about growing product based businesses is the best way to boost growth is to create multiple streams of revenue. So, not only does this provide more income, it also creates visibility, momentum, and relationships. That's why our mastermind group focuses on selling. With this goal in mind, success is attainable and inevitable. So, we really like in our focus group to focus on selling and the ways to sell. But in our masterminds, other things get brought up depending on what people's needs are. If there is a manufacturing struggle, you can definitely talk about that and we can talk about it. But we do like to set big goals with you. We do like to figure out where you want to sell, how much you want to sell, to who you want to sell, and how will you get there? What steps will you take during our mastermind? And we will help hold you accountable. So, again, our mastermind is called Multi Stream Machine, and it's a 12-week mastermind plus group coaching program that guides you through selling more of your product in multiple places while optimizing where you're already selling. It's a heavy hitter combination of action and accountability, and we get you there with laser focus and creative strategies, all alongside like minded entrepreneurs that just get it. So we right now we are taking applications for our February 2018 rounds. And if you're listening to this at a different time, go to our website, theproductboss.com/mastermind, and you can apply. So I wanted to share a little bit of what is included in our mastermind. Like Mina discussed, there are hot seat calls. So there's 90-minute biweekly calls held and there are hot seats and we coach you. So Mina gave you a little bit of information on the structure of the hot seats. We also offer mini trainings via Facebook Live or Zoom that Mina and I will host in the off weeks of our coaching calls and our mastermind calls. And we like to dig deeper into questions following up on the calls and takeaways. So sometimes if a client is working on something that we feel is useful to the group, we will actually do a mini training on that. We also provide focus sheets. So, our focus sheets are guided tools for tackling daily business processes. These include checklists for laser focused tasks and big goal templates for strategic planning. Like we discussed, there is a closed Facebook group exclusively for your mastermind. So, for those 6 to 8 people in your mastermind, and you will have access to the Product Boss Facebook group. We also offer a special masterclass from an industry expert to go more in depth on a particular topic. So, every session of our mastermind, we will offer one guest expert, and you will be able to give input on what you would like to dig deeper on. And what we will do is we will try and focus on finding an expert. So, some experts we have worked with in the past are Shopify, like a Shopify expert, an SEO expert, somebody who's into she's a creative director for the brand Image. Am I missing someone, Mina?
Yes, Pinterest, so social media expert. So
Social
basically
media.
where we were seeing the gaps was where we were filling in, and then people kind of told us what their needs were, whereas we were doing more of the over-encompassing business struggles and specific struggles. We wanted actual experts on like the unique selling point, things like that, that they could really give them like a roadmap of what they could do. So these were very and task driven and takeaway driven experts, you know, so that was what we were trying to do.
And cater to our mastermind's needs. So,
Right.
and finally, as we discussed in the 7 points to why we think you should join a mastermind, is accountability. So, it's amazing what you can achieve when you have weekly goal setting and accountability check ins and an inspiring group of supportive product based businesses. Everyone seems to raise their capacity level. They create goals and plans, and having goals and plans without accountability simply isn't effective. So we want you to be the best boss you could possibly be. We want you to be the most successful that you can be. And we want 2018 to be incredible for you. So if you're interested in learning more or applying for our mastermind, and our masterminds are taking place this spring in February of 2018, you can head on over to theproductboss.com/mastermind to apply. And with that, we will make it happen with focus, growth, inspiration, and all together as product entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and just another quick little note, these sessions are recorded too. So people who needed to go back and really hear what they needed to hear again and check their progress, they're able to get that much further even with like re-listening to the content and to the expert coaching and everything. So I think that really adds to it where you can go back to it and listen to it.
Yeah, our group treats our mastermind recordings sort of like a podcast. So sometimes there's a lot of information, or if you're on the hot seat, your brain just starts thinking and thinking and thinking, and you might get pulled out of it a little bit. So always have access to your mastermind recordings, your audio recordings, and you will just go back and pick out those gems that you may have missed or that you need to hear again.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the benefits of a mastermind, and then also our specific mastermind, which is a little bit of a hybrid of coaching and masterminding, which makes it very special and unique and super effective.
So we would love to meet you in one of our masterminds. And for now, I want to thank you for listening, and we will see you again next week.
And to get more information on our mastermind multi-stream machine, go to our website at www.theproductboss.com/mastermind. And there you'll get all the information you need and also have the ability to apply.
If you love the Product Boss podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, share, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time, Product Bosses, let's make it happen.